Money Radio, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a pleasure to welcome Dr. Adriana Sanford. She is a clinical associate professor at the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University. Her research areas include compliance issues for multinational businesses, including areas consisting of tax compliance, cross-border financial transactions, and product counterfeiting. She's also a consultant to the Institute of Supply Management. Dr. Sanford, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Sinclair.
The topic we'd like to focus on today is counterfeiting, product counterfeiting. The idea of counterfeit goods, we may have some idea and think, yeah, it's probably shoddy construction, but hey, if you can buy a handbag for $50 instead of $2,500, a lot of folks will do it and not really think twice, but maybe they should be thinking twice. What is this marketplace, first of all, for counterfeit goods? Do we have any idea of how big of a problem this really is?
Yes, we have an idea. It's from what we see from the International Chamber of Commerce. It makes up between 5 to 7% of world trade. So it's big.
Yeah.
We have about $6 billion in international trade we're looking at as being counterfeit. So the number is large, and it's not a victimless crime, which is what most people think.
Where do the victims come in?
Well, if we're looking at something like a luxury item like a handbag or shoes, what you're going to be focused on is who is making that money. Where is that money going? So you'd be looking at organized crime, terrorist activity. That's the concern with the luxury goods. Unfortunately, it's not only the luxury goods that are being counterfeited. You've got other issues, other things like pharmaceuticals, electrical products, which cause fires, switchgear. The list goes on, and the health and safety dangers are big.
And the health and safety dangers, whether it be pharmaceuticals, electronics, the safety issues actually start in the production process because a lot of these counterfeit goods are made in not quite union shops, you might say.
Right. One of the other big concerns is the fact that where these products are being manufactured, a lot of times it's in China, and poor working conditions, there's child labor issues, and also you're not buying a generic product. A lot of people confuse counterfeit with generic. Counterfeit can kill. Counterfeit can have gasoline in it. It can have sawdust. You when you purchase a counterfeit product, let's say a beer, it can actually be deadly.
And I mentioned as well, you work in areas of cross-border financial transactions. A more common name for that would be money laundering, right?
Right, and this has become well used by organized crime because a lot of the terrorists were caught with charities and drugs, the drug trafficking. What happens with drug trafficking is people get arrested and there's a lot of media. So the terrorists have now turned to counterfeiting. This actually has a very high profit margin and not a lot of media. Products are seized and the individuals usually escape arrest.
The more dangerous areas, though, as well, as you mentioned, areas that do affect consumer safety, such as a beer that can kill you, an electronic product that can result in fire, and the counterfeit drug market. We think that we're buying a pharmaceutical product, and it's not what we think it is.
This is a very big concern, and it's a big concern not only in developing countries, but here in the United States. Out of 9,000 websites delivering medications to U.S. patients, 96% of those did not meet U.S. standards. The concern with that is, what are you buying? You could be buying something that's super potent or doesn't have the active ingredient that you need. I'll give you an example with regards to drugs, antibiotics for TB, tuberculosis. In developing countries, you see a lot of individuals buying counterfeit TB medications. And the problem with that is they're not strong enough. So you are actually creating a worse problem because all of a sudden you have individuals that are resistant to the normal drug. And this will affect everyone globally. When you have a substandard antibiotic and it is being widely used for a disease, you have more people that are going to be resistant to drugs.
What are some of the solutions for counterfeiting?
Well, there are all sorts of new technologies that are coming up. We have individuals that have created a synthetic DNA. We have butterfly wing-inspired printing techniques. We have invisible woven patterns. The problem with a lot of these new technologies, though, are that they are complex in implementing. There's one that's really hot right now, which was made by a team of Koreans in the Korean Advanced Institute for Science and Technology. And what they're doing is they jumble nanowires. And basically these nanowires create a fingerprint, and they're item-specific. Now, that seems to be working very well. There's also another company called 6 Degrees Counterfeit Prevention, and what they're doing is they have an ID, and basically it's an encryption, and it can go on any product. The way this works is it goes on a 2D code or any of these little barcodes. A consumer can walk up to the product and basically with a phone, with a Android or with an iPhone, they can check it, and immediately it will tell the consumer this is an authentic product.
It can be checked much like a barcode could be.
It could. It could, and it's wonderful because it empowers the consumer to be part of this. And hopefully consumers will be more aware of how dangerous it is, and we'll see these moms and these college students starting to use this. It's also very good for companies because they'll know if their product has been diverted. And if all of a sudden the product's showing up where it shouldn't be, they will know immediately.
It's interesting, and it's an intriguing problem, and we appreciate the information provided today by Dr. Adriana Sanford from Arizona State University, asu.edu, the W.P. Carey School of Business. Dr. Sanford, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Sinclair.